Okay, so here we are. Let's take a question and see if we can apply Bole Buchake's Lake God. Now, what I have here is a copy of Regional Mock 2019, Central Regional Mock 2009, or rather, Bamenda Regional Mock 2019. So let's see if we can apply the text on any of the questions there. Now, I'm reading from this question number two. Question number two. It says, discuss the importance of places in any three prescribed text. It is written there. Discuss the importance of places in any three prescribed text. Now, clearly you can see there that the most important aspect of that question there is places. And so places they have to do with settings. But then the question says in any three texts. So we are going to apply this one, and then when we get to other texts, then we can see we can apply them as well. So when we talk about places, like the question discusses, we are talking about settings, of course. So they are asking us, how is setting important in Bole Butake's Lake God? Because take note that places is geographical location where we see action playing out. So in this case, we are talking about, first we can talk about the village, which is the major setting of the play. Of course, the name of the village is not given. Then we can then break down our major setting to minor settings, like the Fawn's Palace, where we encounter for Joseph and Father Leo in a tete-a-tete. And then we can also move over to the bushes, or rather to the farms, where we see the women struggling and then taking their oath of concealed lips. And then Lagam and his friends in his palm wine farm talking as well about the latest happenings in the village. And then we also come back to the close of the play when we see Shea Bonyo, an elderly man, a woman, a boy, and a girl. Now, they are the only survivors after the gods have taken off their revenge on the entire land. So let's see how we can get along with this. Now, normally in any essay questions, first you have to interpret, you have to present an introduction to your question. There has to be an introduction, and what introduces your question is a key item or the key theme or the key idea of that question, in which case you are talking about place setting. So you get into your place setting, you identify the village. There must be textual illustrations to show that the novel, the events of the novel plays out in a rural setting, which of course is a village. And then you show how that setting is important in helping to project the themes. Since the story is about clash of culture, traditional African customs, going along ahead with Western civilization, and the appearance of Christian missionaries in Africa, we observe that the most apt setting for such events to play out must of course be a village, as the case is in Bole Butake's Lake God, hence the importance of places. So in this case we are using the village as a rural place or a rural setting where the events play out. More illustrations for this village setting might also play out at the level of the characters. Of course, most of them are villagers. They have very little or no education, and then their main economic activity, of course, is farming. They all practice subsistence farming. Illustration of it is the Fibwen, who have marched to the Fawn's Palace demanding that cattle rearers like Dewa be kicked out of the land. We also encounter Dewa and his spouse in their palm wine bush. He gets to tell us that if these villagers are practicing subsistence agriculture and they engage in other activities like tapping of palm wine, and then they also serve their local god, it tells us that this, of course, is a rural setting. So these textual illustrations give us more impetus to justify the place setting as a rural village. It doesn't just end there. Setting also plays out in Fon Joseph's palace, where we encounter the Fon and Father Leo. Now that palace is very crucial because it presents one of the central conflicts of the novel. It is there that Father Leo encounters Shea Bonyo, and it tells the Fon that the mad Shea of the gods. That's a comment that he makes. It is also there that we see the Fibwe. They have come to tell Fon Joseph to take a firm decision to protect the villagers. So realize that the Fawn's Palace serves as a seat of power and authority and level of the rural setting of that novel, because it houses the Fawn, the main authority of the land. So we see always be sure to present the effectiveness of whatever places that you are using. Whether you're talking about the Fons Palace, you are talking about the village as a whole, you are talking about the outlying areas around the lake where Shea Bonio sleeps to, just so he could discuss with the gods, he could commune with the gods. We are talking about the women in their farms, or the men in their palm wine bushes. Whatever places or you choose to present, make sure that you illustrate the textual evidence showing its importance. Its importance just simply means the episodes or the events that play out on these places. That is their importance to the overall play as a whole, or storyline. So that is that for that question about places in Bole Butake's Lagos, which, as I said, is setting. So you hit the subscribe button, and then we are going to revise some more questions.